some of the games we haven't had time to talk about from yesterday had 2 red cards in that we might want to focus on in particular. First of all, at Goodison, it was a goalless draw between Everton and Brentford. Thomas Frank's visitors were reduced to 10 men just before the break, following Christian Norgaard's knee-high challenge on Jordan Pickford. The referee, Chris Kavanagh, produced a red card, having watched a replay of the incident on the pitchside monitor in what turns out to be a bit of a lengthy VAR review. So he was urged to look at the monitor, having perhaps missed something in that game. An incensed Thomas Frank couldn't believe the red was issued and is adamant that the decision will be overturned on appeal.
I don't think it's a red card. You guys that been interviewing me many times that very rarely complain about the refs. If we're not allowed, when a ball gets across, to fly in to touch it with the fear of the risk, oh my God, if I touch the keeper, I can't do it, I get a red card, then we need to change how we are coaching the game. So I need to understand if it's who's in charge of this. Is this I don't know the word of is it PGMOL or is it them or how it works? But these guys, is it them who's telling the ref? And if it is, then I think the game has changed in a way I don't like. If it's not changed, then they need to overturn the red card, and we will most likely appeal it. And I hope there's people that understand the game better that can overturn that.
By the way, Thomas Frank was given a yellow card for his reaction to that red being issued, as I say, just before half-time in that game. Not happy with that red card, and it's, I think, a red card cast that has divided a lot of opinion. You've seen it, you've seen the replays. What did you think of it?
Enough of this lunacy with red cards. Just crazy.
So you don't think it was a red?
No, I don't. I mean, first and foremost, when the ball comes across and Norgaard goes to attempt to get the ball, he's firmly got his eyes fixed on the ball, and he's doing what Alan Shearer said on Match of the Day. Any manager would be angry if a player didn't attempt to get his foot, knowing he's got to get a toe to it or something on it and he can score a goal. And accidentally, because it is accidentally, because Pickford comes rushing out of his goal and he's okay to fling himself at something. He did that with Van Dijk, didn't he? And he got an unfortunate injury for Van Dijk. You can't be refereeing like that. I just think red cards are... like I get furiated with the way penalties are getting. It makes me furious the way penalties have gone. Red cards are getting so silly. And this is a prime example of someone... So what is a player going to say to... Imagine this is the conversation in the dressing room after the game, Nat. And the manager says, why didn't you attempt to get that from that knockback? Why didn't you try and get it on the far post, knock it in? Well, I didn't want to throw myself because I might have caught the goalkeeper and injured him. So are we going to go there, are we? That players might actually think... Okay, I'm not even going to throw myself at the ball.
So it sounds as though you're worried about where the game is heading, in the fact that players are going to have to constantly think about...
The game is too soft. Right. Now, unfortunately, yes, he could have caught Pickford's knee.
Well, he did catch him.
It's accidental, and it's totally accidental.
Yeah.
But you can't referee football to this, literally hold your hands across with your 22-year-old kid, go across the zebra crossing idea. Bubble wrap world.
So you don't think it's excessive force, which is why a red card could be issued, or endangering an opponent?
If he's looking at Pickford and you can see it and he's firmly thinking, I've got a chance, I can nail him. That is not what Norgaard was trying to do. He was trying to get on the end of a cross to knock it in to score a goal. Don't give a red card for that. There's just no way on earth. Red cards are getting really silly.
What was interesting, very quickly, what Shearer was saying on Match of the Day is, yes, it was, I think, Matt Donoghue was the VAR. He was the one that said to Chris Kavanagh, go to the monitor, check it. Shearer was saying that Kavanagh should have gone to the monitor and said along those kind of lines, there's no malice intent in that whatsoever. It's two players basically coming together, and it's just that the momentum has carried Norgaard into Jordan Pickford's leg.
So goalkeepers can come out and throw themselves at someone and they throw their arms or their legs out and that's all okay.
Okay.
Generally, yeah?
Well...
Because that's what Pickford did. He's thrown himself at the chance. And it's not his fault. He's doing what a goalkeeper should do. He's trying to stop the shot going in. And Norgaard is trying to put the ball in the back of the net.
I mean, there was another contentious decision, which we won't have time to talk about, unfortunately. But
it's another one, Belieber joke.
The Brighton victory over Bournemouth, where Carlos Belieber was shown a second yellow, so they can't even appeal that one. No. After referee Stuart Atwell thought he'd come in late on a challenge on Milos Kerkez. If you look at some replays, you don't even know if he caught him in any way. That's the problem. But VAR can't get involved in yellow cards. No. So that's what I think Fabian Hürzeler was annoyed about.
One quick word, and I said this earlier in the show, Nat. Mikel Arteta yesterday took a player off because he'd been booked, and he knew that it's so soft the game now. I've got to substitute players now who are on a yellow card because he substitute Jorginho.
Yeah.
Because he was on a yellow card.
And so
one soft challenge couldn't see him walking down the tunnel when you're down at 10 men. So managers now are having to substitute players more often than not because they're on a yellow all the time. You don't even get a little bit of benefit of doubt from a referee because they're having to ref games like this. It's madness.
Well, we will see if Brentford appeal, and we will see if Brentford win that appeal, as Thomas Frank thinks it should be overturned.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.